I don't know about you, but I couldn't be happier to know that spring has finally arrived. I'm ready to shake off my winter blues and refresh, recharge, and renew. Embracing the spirit of spring, I'm here to remind you that it's time to water our gardens. I know the state of the world has been consistently getting us down, and it's so important right now that we take a moment to re energize ourselves so that we have the stamina to keep going. It's time to spread some love and light into our days. I'm Kirsten, and I spend my days processing grief and healing while staying kind, cozy, and courageous. And in this video, we're going to dive into 5 1-minute rituals to unlock your spring glow. Some questions I've been thinking through that ended up being the foundation of these rituals are: how can we help our spirits connect to spring? How can we help our bodies and minds transition into spring? And how can we show up for our tired hearts? These questions helped guide me to rituals that are seasonal, cozy, and uplifting. They've brought such beautifully grounding, transformative energy into my orbit. I really hope they resonate with you. Okay, let's get into it. Our number 1 ritual is to flower it up. What better way to welcome spring than a flower shower? I personally love the scent of rose, so I bring out my rose candle. I decorate my dessert with dried rose petals. And as the weather got warmer, I even tried adding the rose petals to my ice tray with a little bit of mint, and they made these beautiful floral ice hemispheres that added such a refreshing flavor to my water. Drinking this water made me feel so unstoppable, and so obviously the rose saga had to continue. I simmered the rose petals in water and added that to my hot chocolate to make rose hot chocolate. And I even stored some rose water with honey to add to lemonade for hotter days. Moving on from roses, but sticking to the flower theme, I cut my fruits and veggies in little flower and petal shapes. I swear this makes the fruits and veggies taste absolutely delicious. And it's actually a lot easier than it looks. It takes me about 5 minutes, and I store it in the fridge for a few days so I can enjoy more fruits and veggies throughout the week. Adding flowers into your food and drink is such a beautiful way to honor the beauty of life as we transition into spring. I love pairing the veggies with a dip because it just makes me so much more excited to eat them. Which brings me to ritual number 2, upgrade to the premium plan. Why settle for basic when we can spend very little effort taking something to the next level? I literally bought this dip from my Middle Eastern store. It's called Muhammada. And I had some extra feta from another meal this week, so I sprinkled that on top. If I didn't have feta, I would have just used parsley or mint, or even just a drizzle of olive oil, whatever I had around. Just taking a second to plate your snack beautifully can nourish our bodies and also our souls. Something else I love to do in the morning is to elevate my coffee. Now, I will say I'm no coffee expert. I am fine with ground instant coffee, and I just drink a cup a day. But to add a little extra love to my coffee, I mix in some store-bought creamer instead of milk and sugar, or even use a 3-in-1 creamer coffee sugar packet because that saves me even a minute in the morning. This makes my cup of coffee feel so much more special. Upgrading to the premium plan doesn't always have to mean buying extra things though. It can just be about honoring items that you already have in your house by repurposing them. When I'm craving freshly baked cookies, but I don't have the time to mix a whole batter, I use store-bought cookie dough and make it more exciting by pressing it into a baking pan to create cookie squares. And I fill in ingredients I have lying around, like stewed berries that my baby didn't finish for her meal, or toasted walnuts from a recipe I made that week. And then I top the dough off with some extra chocolate. The perfect midnight snack. Moving away from food to decor, if I don't have money to buy fresh flowers, but I want to have a vase on my table, I love using green onion stalks I'm growing as a centerpiece. I place the green onions in a vase and then place the vase in my wooden coaster case and decorate it with some potpourri, and there you have it. It makes me smile every time I pass this vase. I just love green onions, and I think they deserve to have their moment. I love the idea of taking something that seems ordinary and shining a light on what makes it extraordinary. Speaking of, ritual number 3 is to take a moment to notice yourself. I've mentioned previously on this channel the importance of holding our bodies as we transition from season to season. And I think that journey starts with just paying attention to what our bodies are experiencing as the seasons shift. When doing my skincare, I noticed that my winter moisturizer feels too heavy in the spring, so I like to mix it with some oil. I also notice my lip skin sometimes be even drier during the spring compared to the winter. So I steal some of my partner's lip mask. He always has the softest lips. Well, not today, Elijah. You got competition. Seasonal shifts also bring pimples here and there, and I find placing a pimple patch on them as soon as I sense them forming helps protect them from developing further. Warmer days during the spring make me feel very dehydrated, so I make sure to switch some of my hot drinks to colder options, like having an iced coffee instead of a hot one. Also, side note, I was so excited to make this iced coffee because I finally got to use this olive jar that I had cleaned. Is it not the cutest iced coffee glass? It's the little things that make my soul sing. Bringing us to ritual number 4, feed your soul. I found that the most sustainable way to live life is to make the time to nourish your spirit, to recognize how soul-crushing the world can be and the importance of pouring energy back into ourselves. This can mean something as simple as feeding our inner child. I remember growing up, I would buy something called a kiri bun from my school's canteen, and I was out the other day and I saw kiri cream cheese on sale, so I had to buy it. And I came home and spread some kiri cream cheese on a burger bun and made my very own kiri bun. And wow, did it take me back. And I got to share it with my partner and my baby via breast milk, and it was a beautiful, nostalgic moment that fed my spirit. I find that serving my community is always the most meaningful way for me to feel connected to my spirit. And so to honor spring, I decided to make some lavender bunches for my family and friends. It was so easy. I just bought one bunch of dried lavender for like $15 and then divided that into 8 bunches and tied the bunches up with brown wrapping paper and twine and a little diffuser paper I had at home to make sure it all stayed together. And I thought these looked so sweet, and it made some people very happy to be able to add the calming presence of lavender into their homes. The 5th and final ritual is to invest in your future self. I think sometimes when reflecting on how we can show up for ourselves, we imagine us taking care of ourselves when we're at our best, without considering how we can take care of ourselves when we're at our lowest, often when we need it the most. A practice I've loved getting into is making time when I'm at my best to support myself when I'm at my worst. This can be something as simple as taking a minute to tidy up around me when I have the energy to, so that I don't have to worry about decluttering my space when my body is exhausted. I have this huge ass bottle that I love to fill and keep near my bed, so that I know I'm hydrating when I'm tired because I don't have to walk all the way to the kitchen to fill a glass. And when I have extra time during my day, I love to meal prep for multiple days so that I don't have to worry about putting together a meal every single day. When I make egg salad for breakfast, I even prep the breakfast sandwiches ahead of time so that I can just grab and go in the morning. I also love prepping my baby's meals whenever we have extra ingredients in the fridge, so I don't have to think that hard about what to feed her. Here I'm adding some kiwi that needed to be finished up into her egg yolk that I boiled and mashed earlier, and I cut up some strawberries that were ripe. And this will last her 2 to 3 meals. She eats a meal a day at the moment, and now I don't have to worry about cooking for her for another 2 days. And this brings us to the end of our spring rituals. Thank you so much for watching. I hope one of these 5 rituals inspired you to embrace the fresh energy of spring and sprinkle light into your daily routine. Let me know in the comments below if you felt called to try any of them. If you like this video and need a little more joy into your life, I think you should check these out as well. Wishing you a peaceful and rejuvenating spring. See you in the next video. Bye.